G'day viewers, I scored some stuff firstly to job I did at one of the fast food restaurants. Had a bit of a clean up and some equipment I've got at work which I'm going to fix what's fixable and have them as ventils and a microwave oven which I've repaired. We snapped the pivots off the hinge, so I've brazed those up and fixed it. Now when you slam doors on these types of microwave ovens, these switches on the side have to work in a certain sequence, and if they don't, due to the door being slammed, that circuit interlock cancels itself out briefly and blows the main fuse. So the 16 amp fuse in there, up in there, and it's blown. So I did check the diodes, just double checked, and they're fine. So if that don't blow the main fuse, diodes will, but they're fine. It's a Menu Master Armada unit. Same as this one, but this one's a little bit less heavily made. Still better than the Chinese junk you buy at the shop. But this one has two magnetrons. Where the that one there is like, I think that's only a single one. So it's nowhere near as heavy. It's got two magnetrons. I think there might, yeah, should have. I think in there somewhere there's two mots. I think there is, but I can't see from here. No, I don't think there is. Just uses one large MOT, and that does both of them. Unusual, but the big Turbo Chef ovens have two mots, two magnetrons. This one works a little differently with one transformer. But it's a really nice unit, so I'm fixing it up. Most of this stuff would have went in the bin. This would have went in the bin too. There's nothing wrong with that. Picked up that from the marketplace, and nothing wrong with it. The guy thought it was buggered, but the actual hose for the water was kinked. Easy fix. I got this from that fast food place. It's Australian made Orford. It works fine. Some barbecue tough cleaned all the friggin' chicken fat and they will fry a shit off it. It all worked except for the lights. The ballast has gone, so I'm going to change that just so with the fuse. They're LEDs in there now. I put some LED fluoros in there. I just configure it with a little fuse, that's it. You don't need fluoros anymore. They're obsolete. Said proudly made in Australia, not anymore. Scope and Orford fridges are Chinese junk now. Sucks we can't make anything in this country anymore. Especially domestic stuff, that's cheap Chinese shit. And you buy the stuff that's commercial, it's expensive Chinese shit. Can't win. Anyway, more to the point, I've had this go and charge on my solar, because the last couple of days, very crap weather. Had it charging all night, and come in one day, and this was actually blown out like that. It was like, oh, that's not good. Flip the cover, and my bridge rectifier became a bridge rectiFryer. It fried itself. 50 amp, my ass. I guess that heatsink was too inadequate. So I've got a 400 amp on there. High current, it's not going to see anywhere near 400 amps, so it should only work okay with that heatsink. Time will tell. Jing from China, 400 amps, 1600 volts. That's going to go on there. That'll be, it should, in theory. I don't think it's going to fit. I'll have to modify this, see if that fan still works. Well, I think it's stuffed. Ah well, I can piss that off. Hardwire a big one in there off this. So whatever the voltage that is, for 12 volts, that will just run a big fan, which will keep this cool as well. Modify it. Now this is fine, it blew that little fuse in there. There's a 20 amp fuse there, and that blew. So we don't need that. We're going to put one on, inline one, like this little breaker, 20 amp breaker. Push button reset. Surprisingly that never tripped. This must have failed gradually and shorted it internally. This must have overloaded it, and then that blew. Then that failed straight after that fuse blew. That's what my theory is. But it must have been poof and pressure. The blow there said there must have been a bit of pressure in there, with smoke. But this little thing is bloody versatile. I'm happy with it. Very, it's well worth the money. You can smell it. Anyway, let's get this out of here. This transformer's held it very well. I'm going to keep my eye out for more transformers like that. Even though it's a silly, unusable voltage, all you do is rectify it, and this can take it. Use one of these to make it useful. That's what I really love about these little buck and boost converters. They can make any somewhat voltage that's useless. As long as it's within the input of this thing's range, it'll make it useful. This thing is very well paid for itself. I'm happy with it. I might put all this into a single box, but nah, can't be bothered. Just leave it like this. Anyway, waffle, let's get to repairing. I'm going to use my J&M Solutions unit here. That's worked very well, paid for itself. Well, it works. Now a test load, see if that fan works. Left my setting there, was set 14.8 volts on desulfate mode. This thing works fine. Got a bit of smoke behind that protector. Anyway, let's get a load on it. You can see that just fried. It smells good. Nice big rectifier. Now very overrated for that purpose, so it should not in theory burn out. I'll hook this back up to it and I'll hook up to a battery. And we'll load it up that way and see if that fan does nothing. If it does, I'm going to have to replace it, the bigger one. I've got a car battery on it that's loaded up. Let's see if that fan actually starts to work. Bad connection, eh? It does, just noisy. Nice. The fan works, but it's noisy. Nice, the unit works fine. Oh, this thing's paid for itself. This thing's working nicely. It shouldn't need a heatsink. It's not going to see anywhere near 400 amps, so it shouldn't heat up that much. Nice. These two come in 3-phase too, so all other packages available. Yep, it still works as it should. This thing's paid for itself. Little shunts. Yeah, a little warm, but not dangerous, even though they can't hold their finger on them. You have to wear those capacitors or to pop on you. Beautiful. We have a fixed winner chicken dinner. Yeah, this thing would have got heat soaked. Not enough fanage, so that's why it's only it burnt out. Just because it didn't receive 50 amps, and it burnt out with less than that because of the heat. So no heatsink compound would have contributed to that too. Ah well. Okay, big or go home and the full bridge rectifier, as that chat boom says. Anyway, you can get back in the service now. Nice, easy repair. Anyway, thanks for watching.